Folks, in my 20 years in the league, I've never seen anything like this. We're talking about a trade rumor that could send shockwaves through the entire NFL landscape. And let me tell you, when I first heard about this, I had to sit down and catch my breath. You know, being a former scout, I've been privy to some insider conversations that never make it to the public eye. But this one's special. It's one of those whispers that carries weight, the kind of whisper that makes you double-check your sources, and then check them again just to make sure you're hearing things right. Today, I'm going to walk you through the intricate details of this massive trade rumor involving a stalwart player that could potentially shift the momentum for one of the NFL's most aggressive franchises. So buckle up, because this ride is just getting started. Let's start by delving into the Philadelphia Eagles' current landscape. Now, the Eagles have been a force to reckon with, but every team has its chinks in the armor. As of 2026, the Philadelphia Eagles, despite their competitive edge, are grappling with a few vulnerabilities that need addressing if they are to maintain their status as a top-tier team. One of the main issues plaguing the Eagles is their offensive line stability, particularly on the outer edges. While the interior line has been fortified with talent and depth, the tackle positions have seen inconsistencies, both in performance and health, which can be a quarterback's nightmare. In recent game analyses, the Eagles' offensive tackles have been found to struggle against speed rushers, particularly on the blind side. This was evident in several key matchups last season where opposing edge rushers managed to exploit these weaknesses, leading to unnecessary quarterback pressures and sacks. Statistically speaking, the Eagles' offensive line allowed more than 40 sacks last season, ranking them 22nd in the league for sack percentage. That's not exactly the fortress you want protecting your signal caller. Film studies have backed up these statistics, showing a need for a more seasoned, dependable presence on the tackle. The Eagles' current setup relies heavily on scheme adaptability and quick releases by the quarterback to mask these deficiencies. Advanced metrics further support this narrative, with the Eagles' offensive line ranking 18th in adjusted line yards, a clear indicator of the struggles faced during the trench battles. This is where analytics point towards an essential fix, a seasoned tackle who can anchor the line and bring in both experience and technique to handle elite pass rushers. The Eagles' front office, renowned for its analytical approach, is fully aware of this gap. It's no surprise, then, that they are on the lookout for the perfect solution to solidify this Achilles heel. The answer is out there, the perfect fix that would not only mend this weakness but elevate the team's overall offensive performance to new heights. The murmurs from inside sources are growing louder, and if the whispers are true, an opportunity to remedy this issue may be just around the corner. That solution is Jake Matthews. Yes, the whispers have been about none other than Jake Matthews, currently locked in with the Atlanta Falcons. For those who may not be familiar, Jake Matthews is an offensive tackle of the highest order. His pedigree, being the son of Hall of Famer Bruce Matthews, sets the tone for his football acumen and technique. This isn't just any player. Matthews is a tactical maestro when it comes to offensive line play. Let's dive into the film and break down what makes Jake Matthews such an invaluable asset. When you look at Matthews on tape, it's his consistency and refinement that stand out. His ability to maintain leverage against both speed and power rushers is a trait that every offensive line coach dreams of. Matthews uses his hands with precision. His punch timing is immaculate, often neutralizing defenders in their tracks. Add to that his footwork, which is both nimble and strong, allowing him to mirror rushers with ease. Statistically, Jake Matthews has been a paragon of durability and reliability. Over the past 5 seasons, he's missed only a handful of games, showcasing his resilience and consistency. Pro Football Reference stats indicate that Matthews has allowed just under 5 sacks per season over the last few years, ranking him among the top 10 tackles in the NFL in terms of pass protection efficiency. His Pro Football Focus grade consistently sits over 80, demonstrating his all-round capability as a tackle with both run blocking and pass protection prowess. Advanced metrics further illuminate his impact. According to metrics that evaluate tackle performances, Matthews ranks highly in adjusted sack rate and pressure rate allowed per snap, underlining his ability to protect the edge effectively. Scouts and coaches alike rave about Matthews' football IQ, often referring to him as a coach on the field for his ability to read defensive setups and adjust line calls accordingly. However, it's not all about the numbers. It's in those critical moments during film reviews where Jake truly shines. His ability to transition in live scenarios, adapting his technique to counter adjustments made by defensive linemen, is particularly impressive. This veteran-savvy skill transforms him from a good player to an elite one, a player who can be the cornerstone of an offensive line. Now, let's talk about how this trade could actually work. If the Eagles are going to bring in a player like Jake Matthews, there will certainly be some financial gymnastics involved. Looking at the numbers, Jake Matthews has a cap hit of $16,773, $714 for the 2026 season, according to Spotrac. His current contract with the Falcons is a 2-year, $45 million deal, with $38 million guaranteed. Therefore, the Eagles would need to maneuver their salary cap efficiently to accommodate such a significant addition. Philadelphia currently has around $32.9 million in cap space as per recent reports. To make room for Matthews, adjustments would need to be made. This could involve restructuring current contracts or even parting ways with some underperforming assets. The Eagles have always been strategic with their cap management, often backloading contracts to maintain flexibility, which could play to their advantage here. In terms of compensation for the trade, the Eagles may need to offer a package consisting of draft picks, potentially including a second or third-round pick, alongside an emerging player to sweeten the deal for the Falcons. Atlanta, on the other hand, might be looking to free up some cap space and rejuvenate their roster with younger talents, making them more amenable to such a trade package. The winners and losers of this trade would stretch beyond the immediate teams involved. Should Jake Matthews find his way to Philadelphia, the Eagles' offense immediately becomes more formidable, offering better protection for their quarterback, which, in turn, could translate to more explosive plays. The Falcons, with increased cap space and valuable draft picks, could bolster their rebuilding strategy effectively. Now, onto the fit analysis. Scheme fit is crucial when considering such a trade, and Jake Matthews seems to be an ideal match for the Eagles' offensive blueprint. Philadelphia's offensive coordination thrives on versatility and a dynamic run-pass option scheme, where Matthews can be instrumental. His proficiency in both run blocking and pass protection allows the Eagles to maintain their adaptable offensive style without compromise. When comparing Matthews to similar players in the league, it's his consistency and low error rate that sets him apart. While there are younger tackles with flashier athletic metrics, Matthews' veteran experience and football intelligence are intangible assets that young players simply can't bring to the table yet. His presence would likely be a calming and stabilizing force on the Eagles' offensive line, much like how seasoned quarterbacks elevate the play of those around them. The projected impact of adding Jake Matthews would be substantial. Best case scenario, his addition could shave off sack totals by a considerable margin and boost the run game efficiency significantly. This could lead to an overall increase in offensive production, more prolonged quarterback protection, and thus, more opportunities for deep passes and explosive plays downfield. Worst case, even if Matthews struggles to adapt quickly to a new system, his baseline performance is still expected to be an upgrade over the current setup. So what's the final verdict here? As a former NFL scout, and now an analyst with insider connections, my professional opinion leans towards this being a positive move for the Eagles. Jake Matthews brings a mix of durability, experience, and skill that is rare to find. If Philadelphia can craft the right trade package and manage their cap effectively, Matthews could be the missing piece that propels them deep into playoff contention. What should we watch for next? Keep an eye on the Eagles' roster moves and cap management strategies in the coming weeks. Any sudden releases or contract renegotiations could be a precursor to clearing space for Matthews. Additionally, listen carefully to any changes in tone from the Falcons' front office. If their focus shifts towards long-term growth and cap space, this rumor could quickly turn into reality. As for timing, these things don't happen overnight. Trade negotiations can stretch out over weeks and sometimes months, especially when involving marquee players like Jake Matthews. However, if both teams are motivated and there's a mutual benefit to be realized, this deal could very well materialize before the trade deadline. In conclusion, while the rumor mill is buzzing and the details are swirling, one thing is clear. The potential acquisition of Jake Matthews by the Philadelphia Eagles is a storyline worth following. It combines strategic roster building with the quest for competitive supremacy, and if executed, could lead to one of the most significant moves of the 2026 NFL season. Stay tuned, folks, because this is going to be an exciting one to watch unfold.